Dear fellows, friends, and colleagues, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your value. And keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. Welcome to HSE tutorial, and today's HSE topic is behavior based safety. I'm your host Javed, and you are watching Safety First. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe the channel, and if you find the videos informative, like and share. Let us look first of all what is safety. The condition of being safe, freedom from danger, risk, or injury. That is safety. Something we learn through, something we see, when, a habit, how, collectively, this is an attitude. Let us look what is behavior based safety. Focuses on at risk behaviors that can lead to injury. Focuses on safe behaviors that can contribute to injury prevention. Behavior-based safety, BBS, is an injury prevention process, an excellent tool for collecting data on the quality of a company's safety management system. Is BBS a scientific way to understand why people behave the way they do when it comes to safety? Properly applied, an effective next step towards creating a truly proactive safety culture where loss prevention is a core value, conceptually easy to understand but often hard to implement and sustain. Behavior-based safety, what it is not only about observation and feedback, concerned only about the behaviors of line employees, a substitution for traditional risk management techniques, about cheating and manipulating people and aversive control, a focus on incident rates without a focus on behavior, and a process that doesn't need employee involvement. All these are not the part of behavior-based safety program. Do you know most accidents are caused by unsafe acts? You work hard to create a safe workplace for your workers and eliminate unsafe conditions. But what about employees' own unsafe behavior? If you examined your accident records for the past few years, you would likely find that the root cause of most of the accident was unsafe acts rather than unsafe conditions. If you read between the lines of the accident reports, you might find that the workers involved in the incident had become complacent with safety. They had gone on autopilot and stopped paying attention to what they were doing. They had taken shortcuts. They had taken risks. They had developed an it wouldn't happen to me attitude. What could go wrong? If you are not thinking about what could go wrong every day, all day, while you work, you are not going to be completely safe. You need to be trained to think ahead as we approach each task and consider what we are working with, what we are doing, where we are going, and what could go wrong. These are the questions. Those need to be asked daily by an individual once he is or she is at a workplace. Dear friends, examine the substances, equipment, procedures, and situations that are part of their job and look for possible hazards. Remind yourself to be safe. Focus physically and mentally on your work. No matter how many times you may have done the same job, impress upon yourself the fact that accidents occur in the blink of an eye. All it takes is 1 second of inattention, one moment of carelessness, and the resultant is a catastrophic accident. Stop complacency in its tracks. Complacency on the job injures and kills, spread like a disease from one worker to another. One employee sees a co-worker taking a shortcut and figures, if he can do it, why can't I? You can't afford to let complacency take over in your workplace. Complacency is dangerous as any machine, chemical, or other recognized workplace hazard. Through a strong commitment to safety training and awareness, you can create and develop a safety culture. Emphasis on alertness, planning, hazard identification, problem solving, and injury prevention. Have a look. If A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, up to Z equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 26, because the alphabets are 26, and it is equal to 26 in number values. Then what will be the value of knowledge? KNOWLEDGE. If you take the values from 1 to 26, the answer is 96%. If you take the word hard work and you are going to take the values from 1 to 26 as per the alphabets, the answer is 98%. Both are important, but the total falls short of 100%. However, if you will take the word attitude, the value is 100%. It means safety is really about our attitude. Make 100% safe behavior your choice, both on and off the job every day. It will make difference, positive or negative. How does attitude impact our lives? What is attitude? Have a look few examples. It wouldn't happen to me. I've been doing this job for last 15 years. I am careful. I don't want to get someone in trouble. These all are the examples of attitudes. The Tory box model says, my attitude affects my behavior. My behavior affects your attitude. Your attitude affects your behavior, and your behavior affects my attitude. So these behavior and attitude is in series, and this is going from one way to the other, from one worker to the other worker, from one staff member to the other. If it is positive, it is beneficial. If it is negative, it is devastating, it is crucial. It needs to be corrected in time, otherwise it will lead to a potential major accident. You are watching Safety First, and today's topic is behavior-based safety. Attitude is the key. A good attitude towards safety is a key to preventing unnecessary incidents and injuries. Your attitude affects your safety and the safety of everyone around you, both at work or at home. Let us look. Are we leaders or followers? Who are leaders? One that leads or guides, or one who is in charge or in command of others? Who is a follower? A person who accepts the teaching of another. A servant or a subordinate, or one that imitates another. Can we be both? But the question is when, where, how does this impact others around us? What does this mean for me as a human being? We all have attitudes. We are leaders or we are followers. Our attitudes, our leadership, and as followers impact people around us. People observe what we do and follow our example. We train others good or bad habits. We create the culture which sets the tone of our work habit. The culture includes bad or good attitudes, leadership, and training. We have the choice in our safety behavior. This decision impacts our ability to be safe, and it also impacts the people that work with or around us. Let us look the triangle, see something, say something. What will make a difference? Once you will do something, you have the ability, you have the responsibility. Make it right, make it perfect. What is intervention and how? Always intervention. Consider three components. Number one, safety management system. Number two, engineering controls. And number three, behaviors. Dear friends, traditional hierarchy of safety interventions included attempts to eliminate the hazard, having employees work around the hazard, guarding or warning employees about the hazard, and training employees to deal safely with the hazard. These are the scenarios. You have to deal with the hazards, intervene with the hazards. Safety management system interventions, 7 components: management leadership, vision, values, commitment, safety goals and objectives, costs of safety performance, responsibility and accountability, defined for management and employees, accountable for performance. Number three, safety organization, safety committees, safety staff resource, and safety budget. Number four, safe work practices and procedures, journal and job specific, housekeeping, contractors, and emergencies, safety review and improvement, a plan, do, check, act process, accident investigation process, safety audit and inspection process. Safety training includes based on needs assessments, designed and presented effectively for both management and employees, results in observable changes in behavior on the job. What is safety communications, internal and external, appropriate for audiences, effectiveness of communication methods? If safety interventions are effective, you will see the result. Percentage of safe behaviors increasing and the percentage of risk behaviors decreasing. This is the ultimate result of safety interventions if these are effective. Number two, reporting of near misses and hits increasing. Both the number of observations and level of participation increasing. Frequency and severity of injuries decreasing. Increasing acceptance of responsibility and accountability for personal behavior. So these are the examples. If the safety interventions are effective, this will be the result, and this will be the positive feedback, the indication that safety culture is developing and unsafe behavior is decreasing. Dear fellows, a business succeeds or fails through the performance of all of its employees. Business is actually a behavior. Success is equal to good performance. Failure equals to bad performance. And performance itself equals to the combined result of a series of behaviors. Let us look suggested behavior-based safety BBS process. Discovery, determine behaviors that have greatest loss impact. Design, identify team who will define and design behavior-based safety process. System up, implement BBS observation, process and collect data. And lastly, system check, ensure BBS process has been effectively implemented. Let us look observations, feedback and data collection. Use a design team of hourly workers, supervisors and managers to design the process, forms, training, data collection and ID roles and responsibilities. Clearly define critical behaviors that will be observed. What is safe versus what is at risk. Give feedback on safe and at risk behavior observed and determine who will act on data collected through observations. Define critical behaviors, what is safe and what is at risk. Focus on relevant behaviors that will have a direct impact on losses. Many behaviors that are directly related to the losses are unconscious behaviors that occur quickly. Select critical behaviors to focus on through actual observation of people at work, not just through discussions or brainstorming. Let us look what are the obstacles to success of BBS. Poorly maintained facilities, top-down management practices, poor planning and execution, and lastly, inadequate training. These are the factors or obstacles that might lead to the failure of BBS, behavior-based safety. Let us look what are the keys to success of BBS. Meaningful employee empowerment, designing a well-planned and supported BBS process, and managing BBS process with integrity. Dear friends, human behavior is a function of activators, what needs to be done, competencies, how it needs to be done, and consequences, what happens if it is done. These are the components, these are the key factors, and these are the functions. Human behavior is both observable and measurable. Therefore, behavior can be managed because a thing that can be observed and that can be measured, it is possible to manage it. Let us look what is attitudes. Attitudes are inside a person's head. Therefore, they are not observable or measurable. However, attitudes can be changed by changing behaviors. In simple words, attitude is something that is going on in your brain that cannot be identified. Let us look ABC model. Antecedents trigger behavior, human performance, and consequences either reinforce or punish behavior. Let us define one by one what are activators. A person, place, thing, or event that happens before a behavior take place that encourages you to perform that behavior. Activators only set the stage for behavior or performance. They don't control it. Some examples of activators, and the speed is 25 kilometers per hour. This is the example of activator. What is behavior? Any directly measurable thing that a person does, including speaking, acting, and performing physical functions, that is coming under the category of behavior. Let us look what is the definition of consequences. Events that follow behaviors. Consequences increase or decrease the probability that the behaviors will occur again in the future. Dear friends, let us look what causes the accidents. Accident causation, use of a broken ladder results in an accident. What are the contributing factors? Was he or she properly trained? Did the employee know not to use broken ladder? Was he or she reminded not to use it? Why did the supervisor allow its use? Did the supervisor examine the job first? Why was the defective ladder not found? Are procedures in place for defective equipment? These are the questions. Once it has been observed or identified that damaged ladder is in use, broken ladder is in use, that might lead to an accident. What will be the behavioristic causes? Improper attitude, lack of knowledge or skill, physical or mental impairment. I have never been hurt before. This is an example of attitude. This is improper attitude, horseplay, defeating safety devices, failure to secure or warm, operating without authority, working on moving equipment, taking an unsafe position or posture, operating or working at an unsafe speed, unsafe loading, placing, mixing or combining, and lastly, failure to use personal protective equipment. These are the behavioristic causes that might lead to an accident. What might be the unsafe conditions? Improper PPE, improper tools, improper guarding, poor housekeeping, improper ventilation, defective equipment, improper illumination, unsafe dress or apparel, and finally, hazardous arrangements. What are the examples of unsafe personal factors? Fatigue, defective hearing, defective eyesight, muscular weakness, lack of required skill, lack of required knowledge, intoxication, use of alcohol or drugs. These are the examples of unsafe personal factors. Let us look the types of accidents: slip, trip, and fall, struck by, overexertion, struck against, fall on same level, fall to different level, caught in, on or between, contact with, heat or cold, contact with, electric current, inhalation, absorption, ingestion, or poisoning. When you eliminate unsafe environmental conditions, upgrade engineering controls, optimize administrative controls, and provide adequate personal protective equipment, what's left? Only the attitude. Attitude drives behavior. And today's topic is behavior-based safety. You're watching Safety First. Let us see a word of caution. You can't influence employee behavior if contact is too infrequent or limited. Reinforcement must happen frequently. If acceptable behavior is not reinforced as it happens, and if corrective instructions is not direct and specific, behavior may not be changed. Also, responsibility for safety is in no way shifted entirely from management to the employee. Safety is still the shared responsibility between management and all other company employees, members of the organization. Let us look how to implement the safety standards, how to implement the program or the process of behavior-based safety. Implementation of a behavior-based safety program requires dedication, personal interest, and management commitment. Understanding and support from the workforce is essential. Without it, the program will fail. Keep remember, responsibility is important. Effective assignment of the responsibility is the key factor. Management, supervision, labor force at the bottom, authority and accountability for all, not for workers. Remember, behavior-based safety is a safety management system that specifies exactly which behaviors are required from each employee. These behaviors are geared toward a safer work environment. The system must have controls in place which will measure whether or not these behaviors exist as a routine element in the work environment. Acceptable behaviors must be positively reinforced frequently and immediately as the behavior occurs. Let us look what will be the role of management, what will be the responsibility of management. Get involved, learn, ensure your support is visible, support the program, implement ways to measure effectiveness, attend the same training as your workers, interact with your workers, insist on periodic follow-up and program review, and follow up on the actions you took. All these are the responsibilities or the roles of the management. Let us look the role of supervisory staff. Number one, get involved. Number two, get your workers involved. Number three, never ridicule any injury or near miss. Number four, be positive, motivate and reward. Number 5, find ways to measure behavior. Number 6, attend the same training as your workers. Number 7, be proactive, get involved in safety. Number 8, be professional, you could save a life today. And number 9, follow up on the actions you took. Supervisors' responsibilities are to control the work environment, enforce existing work rules, constantly reassess conditions, improve the system or process, involve employees, bring safety concerns to management, and serve as company liaison. Supervisor responsibilities regarding safety training. The supervisors must know the training needs of his or her workers, be aware of changing conditions requiring new training, be constantly aware of safety conditions in the workplace, ensure workers are included in the safety process, solicit ideas for safety improvements from workers, interact closely with the company's safety officer, and halt any operation where personal injury could result. Let us look the responsibilities of a supervisor regarding near misses. The supervisor must treat all near misses as an accident, report it, investigate the cause, determine corrective measures, update and annotate, and follow up to ensure compliance. Gentlemen, let us look the supervisor responsibilities regarding flow of safety information. Act as a conduit, upward and downward. Act as a filter. Use your experience. Inform the sender if you change the message. Be proactive. Look for problems. Be thorough. Follow up on the actions you took. Ask your employees to ensure comprehension. And if it doesn't make sense to you, it would not to your people. Supervisor responsibilities to eliminate behavior that is driven by a lack of appropriate safety training, knowledge of personal responsibility, knowledge of safety procedures, knowledge of safety information, knowledge of machines or equipment, and knowledge of facility operations. What's left ideally is attitude, which drives behavior. Let us look at the responsibilities of a supervisor regarding the ability to supervise, responsibility, accountability, delegation, and authority. If all these four segments, responsibility, accountability, delegation, and authority is not there, supervisor cannot act efficiently. Remove any one and you cannot effectively supervise. Responsibility regarding supervision. Safety is one of your specific duties. You are responsible for controlling your work area. You must be knowledgeable of your responsibilities, and authority is needed to carry out the responsibilities. How supervisory is linked with authority. Authority is absolutely critical. Authority must be commensurate with responsibility. Authority allows you to take actions. Authority allows you to correct deficiencies. Authority must be controlled, and accountability is needed to control the authority. Otherwise, power corrupts power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. How? The accountability is linked with supervision. Accountability is the check and balance. Accountability must be appropriate. Accountability measures compliance, and accountability must be used in consonance with responsibility and authority. This is the link. To varying degrees, all employees have responsibilities, authority, and are accountable for safety. Let us look determine the role of employees. Number one, get involved. Number two, contribute to make corrective actions. And number three, understand how your behavior affects job safety. Number four, report all accidents and near misses immediately. Be proactive and professional. report all the safety problems or deficiencies, follow up with any additional information, and understand the reason work must be observed. These are the considerations, are the roles, or the responsibilities of employees. What is the role of a safety committee? Safety committees should document meetings, encourage employee involvement, provide feedback without fear of reprisal, make recommendations for corrective action, analyze statistical data concerning accidents, hold regular safety review meetings, bring employee concerns to management's attention, and follow-up is critical and most important. Let us make worksite analysis. Worksite analysis includes gathering behavior information from available sources. Number two, observing behavior of employees during varying conditions. Number three, developing lists of acceptable behaviors for specific jobs. Number four, conducting baseline screening surveys to determine which jobs are high risk and need a closer analysis. Number five, performing job hazard analysis of high risk jobs. And number six, after implementing control measures, conducting periodic surveys and follow up to evaluate changes in behavior. Let us look tangible indicators, accident records, behavior observation, protection records, personal records, employee surveys, and policies and procedures. These are the indicators to measure, to analyze the worksite performance, the condition of worksite. It is required to make an analysis of the worksite. Let us look behavior principles. What is a behavior? Behavior is what a person does or says. What causes a person to take this particular behavior or course of action depends on other influencing factors. Attitude and situational conditions cause the particular behavior. Let us look what influences behavior: motivation, intelligence, emotions, experience, attitude, situational conditions, desire, needs, abilities, skills, and ambition. When the reason for behavior is not known, determine what motivates the behavior: lack of training, working conditions, or personal problems. Work-related problem, try and fix it. Personal problem, work within company resources. Find positive ways to discourage unacceptable behavior. Behavior must be observed to begin to understand current behavior and develop list of acceptable, safe behaviors. The list of acceptable behaviors will be used in determining safe behaviors in the future. To effectively observe behavior, there are a few steps. Number one, establish criteria for observation. Number two, observe workers frequently at various work times. Number three, observe workers for a few minutes each day. Number four, employees should know they are being observed. Number five, employees should know their behavior is recorded. Number six, know the safe behaviors you are looking for. Number seven, develop a checklist if necessary. Number eight, constantly compile and compare observations. And number nine, follow up on observations. Remember, someone is always new or young or unfamiliar with why they are being observed. Determining safe behavior is a never-ending process. Your list of safe behaviors will vary by job or department and will change as work conditions or equipment changes. Let us find the examples of safe behaviors. Forklift safety: approaches load slowly and straight on, stops when folks are about a foot from load, safely engages pallet, checks mast height for obstructions, slowly and safely picks up load with load against backrest, checks rear of pedestrians, traffic, and obstructions, safely raises folks to desired height, safely engages pilot and tilts a safe angle, and slowly and safely picks up load and lowers to safe height, approaches slowly and straight on, plans load route based on current path obstructions. Let us look what is behavior reinforcement. Reinforcement is any consequence that increase the likelihood that the behavior it follows will occur in the future. In other words, if you promote a behavior, make someone feel good about performing that behavior, or give them a reason to perform that behavior, its occurrence in the future will likely increase. Accept reinforcement. Acceptable behavior must be constantly reinforced. Never miss an opportunity to give a pat on the back of acceptable behavior. People usually respond to positive reinforcement. Let us find the reinforcement considerations. Number one, reinforce frequently and in public. Number two, reinforce only for acceptable behavior. Number three, reinforce immediately, never wait. Number four, reinforce during the safe behavior if possible. Number five, be specific about the reinforced behavior. Number six, give non-verbal positive cues, nods, smiles, etc. Number seven, be totally positive. Number eight, be sincere. People see a lot but don't say a lot. Let us find rewarding for no accidents. Work for a department works for a determinate period only. Once an accident occurs, no incentive remains. Usefulness usually degrades over a period of time, doesn't permanently alter unacceptable behavior, and diminishes supervisory control. Lost time accidents. Let us look what are the motivational techniques and what is the link between money and behavior. Is the individual due a raise? Is a salary review needed for the job? Is the amount of piece work pay appropriate? Is there a bonus program? Are there monetary rewards for safe behavior? Are there other incentive rewards for safe behaviors? Is there a safety suggestion program? And how much of the motivator is money? What else can you think of if something you can mention? Let us continue the motivational techniques. This approach holds that individual can be motivated by properly designing their work environment and praising their performance. Holds that punishment for poor performance produces negative results. Goal setting with employee participation is essential. Periodic re-evaluation is essential. Requires frequent work environment adjustments and requires detailed planning and training of workforce. Let us find how the employee participation and behavior is important. People are motivated by being consulted on actions that affect them. People know their jobs. What safety program changes can they bring to the work environment? People in many cases know the safety problems and safety solutions. Just ask. Participation in the safety program satisfies affiliation and acceptance needs. Workers must know that final decisions are reserved to the management. But tell them why. Motivation changes attitude, and attitudes drive behavior. When a person's attitude changes, his or her behavior will typically follow. Assuming he or she has adequate knowledge of the safe working conditions in the work environment. When you eliminate every other reason for unacceptable behavior, what is left? Only the attitude. But remember, attitude is important. Safety as part of work environment. If a person understands that his or her safety at work is controllable in a measurable way, acceptance of safety as an essential part of the work environment will be increased. Safe attitudes and behaviors will naturally follow. And Once safe attitudes are a normal element in the work environment, behavior will be influenced. Then peers and co-workers expect each other to practice safety as a part of work and not at a requirement of work. At this point, co-workers will expect each other's protection and accident rates will automatically decrease. To sustain safe behavior, management is responsible to promote safety. Everyone is responsible for sustaining a safe work environment. Attitude is the key to sustaining a safe work environment. Dear fellows and friends, don't be a part of building this triangle. Incident breeds severity, unsafe behaviors. This is the beginning. This is the start. The resultant is near miss events. No action. It will be promoted to minor injuries. Repeaters are at higher risk. Still, there is no concrete action. Then the resultant is a serious injury. Still, the management and the middle management and the top management, they are at ease. The end result is fatality, death, and this is an alarming situation. But the time is over. Let us find what are the excuses to address unsafe work practices. Get it done. Undiscussed incompetence, unsafe practices that stem from skill deficits that can't be discussed. Just this once, unsafe practices that are justified because they are exceptions to the rule, unsafe practices that bypass precautions management of workers consider excessive, and are you a team player? Unsafe practices that are justified for a good for the team, company, or customer. Let us find why the culture is important. Why? What is the requirement of safety culture? It is an atmosphere we work in that shapes our behavior. Without culture, we cannot shape our behavior. Unwritten rules that defines what's really important in an organization. Invisible force that largely dictates the behavior of employees and management. Have you ever made employee perception survey? Perceptions are reality. The ultimate customer of safety is the employee. Measures differences in the way employees and management think about safety, and gaps in the perceptions provide starting point for improving safety culture. Let us make comparison between reactive versus proactive. The difference between being reactive and proactive. Firstly, reactive and secondary proactive. Reactive is safety is a separate add-on program, but proactively safety is integrated into all operations. Reactive sense safety committee members are policemen. Proactive safety committee members are resources and advisors. Reactive sense safety generally views as negative by employees. Proactive safety viewed as positive. In the reactive sense, accidents are believed to be caused by careless employees and are unavoidable. Proactive accidents are seen as defects in the system and can be prevented by fixing the system. Reactive sense safety is dictated down to employees, but proactive mindset employees are empowered and involved in the process. Dear friends, fellows and colleagues, you are watching Safety Fest, and today's topic is very hot topic, behavior based safety. Most of the practitioners they are not aware what is behavior based safety. Let us find, let us look implementation phases of behavior based safety. Phase 1, assess the safety culture. Phase 2, educate and train team leaders. Phase 3, educate and train employees about principles, tools, and implementation strategies. And phase 4 is monitor the progress of above all three phases. The corporate safety culture, develop a clear safety mission and goals, communicate the vision and goals, enable each area to attain its own safety goals, encourage individual participation, empower employees to set and achieve their own goals, and foster mutual respect and support. Let us find, let us look critical behaviors and barriers to safety. At risk behaviors that lead to serious injury or fatality. At risk behaviors that could lead to a serious injury or fatality. At risk behaviors that lead to a large number of minor injuries or near misses. At risk behaviors that could contribute to a large number of injuries because many people perform a given task. And safe behaviors that need to occur consistently in order to prevent personal injury. Dear fellows, motivation is the driving force. Some examples of motivational influences that can take precedence over motivation include an individual's self-worth, a secure work environment, and a desire for achievement, desire for recognition, how employees feel about their jobs in general. Lack of motivation often centers around attitude problems. Address the motivational influences to increase energy and enthusiasm. Key motivational points include asking employees for their input, holding morale building meetings, providing employees with the tools they need to do their work, recognizing personal needs, providing employees with challenging tasks, privately recognizing employees for good work, fostering a sense of community at your facility. Do you know? Do it process. D for define behaviors. O for observe behavior. I for intervene. And T for test the intervention. Let us look the principles of behavior-based safety. Focus intervention on observable behavior. Look for external factors to understand and improve behaviors. Direct with activators and motivate with consequences. Focus on positive consequences to motivate behavior. Apply the scientific method to improve intervention. Use theory to integrate information, not to limit possibilities. And design interventions with consideration of internal feelings and attitudes. Dear fellows, please do your part. Do your best in an honest and professional way. Safety starts with me. This will be the slogan for everybody in the project site. Either he is a laborer, a worker, a foreman, supervisor, engineer, project manager, or a project director. My behavior, my choices impacts my life, my family, co-workers, friends, my job, and finally, my company. I'm going to work safely. Dear friends and fellows, behavior is the mirror in which everyone shows their image. Instead of cursing the darkness, at least light a candle. Remember, ability is what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. And that's it. Training session about BBS, behavior based safety, is over now. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and share the video. Hope to see you soon with the new HSE topic. Till then, take care. Good luck and Allah Hafiz.